Alright, now in this session we're going to continue our work of preparing files to put on web pages, and I'm going to go back here for a minute to my plan that I showed you at the very beginning. You know, in the last movie I did my poster page right here. Trying to get my paintbrush working. Hello, paintbrush, not working. Alright, that's okay. I did my, now it's catching up. Did my solar system page, I got that done. But my next two here, this Magellan movie right here, and this event movie right here, well, these were done in Flash. Oh, so what do you do if you've created a Flash movie and you want to take the results of that Flash movie and put it on a web page? Alright, well, let's go to work on that. First of all, I'll hop back into Dreamweaver, and over here on the bottom right hand side where I have all of my things that are a part of my website here, remember that I made a page earlier. Here's my Magellan page. I made a web page for the purpose of putting this Magellan movie on here. Alright, so I'm going to double click that page and open it up, and remember right now it's just an empty page. That's all it is. And I can even go ahead and put like a title at the top of it right now if I want to. I'll just say my Magellan movie and press enter, and I can have that part of it already done. Now, here's how I have to get a Flash movie ready for use on a web page. I'm going to go over to Flash, and I've got to open up the movie I want to work with. So I'm going to click File and click Open, and I'll browse around here to find the Magellan movie that I need here. I've got it in a folder. Yours should be, if you're going to use this, it should be on your network drive, on drive H. I have mine on a, I'm not connected to my network drive right now, so let me just make sure this is the right one. So I've got my Magellan movie opened up in Flash, and here it is. It's working fine. Alright, that's it. So we'll get back here to the beginning of the movie. And here's how you get it ready to use with your web page. You go to the File menu, you go to Export, and I'm going to export the movie. Alright, it's kind of a 3-click thing. File, Export, Export Movie. Now, I want to make sure that I browse to my web folder. Alright, well, remember your web folder should be on drive H, and remember I'm not connected to my drive H right now, so I'm using this drive E. It's my little hard drive that I've got, and I got to go find my web folder. Here it is. I found it right here. So I double click that, and I want to make sure that I'm inside that web folder. Now for the file name here, it was called Magellan. I think I'll just keep that. That's fine. You could change the file name if you want to. And it's going to be an SWF movie. You might see that at the bottom of the screen here. So I'm going to go ahead and save that. The little progress bar that pops up, but it doesn't really take very long. Now, while I'm here in Flash, I also know that the next page that I'm going to work on is this event movie. I did that in Flash too. So while I'm working in Flash, why not just go ahead and get that one ready? I'm going to click File and click Open, and I'll go here to, it's in my Demos folder and my short story project, and I'm going to use the event movie that I'm going to use as my gymnastics movie. So I found it right here. It's the one where the stick figure jumps up on the balance beam. Alright, so I'm going to use this one. So I'm going to do the same thing to this one that I did to that other one. I'll go to File, I'm going to go to Export, and I'm going to go to Export Movie. File, Export, Export Movie. This is kind of the recipe for if you have a Flash movie and you want to put it on a web page, this is the way you do it. Alright, I'm going to export the movie. Now again, I want to make sure that I'm exporting into my web folder, and if I look up at the top on this indicator right up here, it looks like I am. I'm on my drive E. Remember, you should look on drive H. But I'm up here in my web folder. Okay, good. And that's kind of a long name, so maybe I'll just change that to something shorter. Event movie, and I'm going to go ahead and save that. And it doesn't take very long for that to get done. Alright, now I can go back over here to Dreamweaver, and this page, remember, I'm looking up here at my title and everything. This is my Magellan movie page. Alright, well, here's how we do this. I'm going to insert media SWF. Alright, from the insert menu I go to media, and I'm going to insert an SWF file. When we exported the movie in Flash, it did an SWF file. Most web designers call it a SWIFT file. All right, so I'll just go ahead and click there, and I want to make sure I'm looking in my web folder, and I am. It indicates that right here. It says look in web, and I can see those movies right there. All right, I want the Magellan movie here first, so here's Magellan. I'll click OK. Again, on this accessibility attributes, I'm just going to click OK there. Now, you're not going to see the movie itself right away. It just kind of looks like a gray box, but don't worry about that. Now I'm going to do the same kind of things to this that I did to the others. I'm going to click to the right of it and press enter and type down here, go home. Okay, and then I want to take those things and I'm going to do format, align, center. I'll click on the Flash movie, format, align, center, and I'll go down here on the go home stuff and do format, align, center. Good. And I think I'm going to go up to modify page properties, and I'm going to make the background color for this one a blue color. I'd like to have a blue for this. I can apply that if I want to get a peek at it. And a text color, oh, I don't know. Maybe let's make some white text on this one. Okay. And I might take this title that's up at the top and do a heading 1 format, which I've done that before in other movies. All right, and so that one, and I want to link this go home thing down at the bottom. I'll click and drag, and I'm going to use the pick whip on the properties panel at the very bottom, and I want that to go back to the index page. I want that to be linked to my index page. All right, very good. There we go. That one's all set, so I'll click File and click Save. Now, I might as well go ahead and do, and if you see anything looks like this, just click OK on that. Now, the next thing I'm going to go ahead and do is that event movie. Let's see, here's my web page right here. It says event movie HTML, so I'll double click that and I'll open that up, and I'm going to do the same kinds of things here. This is going to be my gymnastics movie. I'll put a title at the top, press enter there. I'll do insert media SWF. This is a Flash file, so I'm going to do an SWF, and I've got the event movie right there. That's it, and I'll click OK, and I'll click OK, and I'm going to click to the right of that in this empty space and press enter and put in go home, or you could say back home or back to the main page or whatever you wanted to say there. It doesn't matter that much. Now it's just time to dress all this up. In fact, I think I could probably do a Control A for select all and do format, align, center. Let's center all of that stuff. There we go. I would like for the gymnastics movie for this title to be a heading 1. So I'll set that. I think I'd like for this background to be, I'll go to modify page properties, and I'd like for this background color to be, I think I'll just do kind of a neutral gray on this one. I'll apply that. Okay, and the text color, let's lighten that up a little bit, maybe make that white. I'll apply that, and I'll click OK there. Now the last thing here is I want to drag over this bottom part and use the pick whip and tell it to go back to the index page. I'm going to go ahead and save this file and save. One more to go. Excuse me, I only have one left, and if I go back to my plan here, the last one that I'm planning to do is my podcast. I wanted to share my podcast on one of my web pages. So back over here to Dreamweaver, and I made a page. Remember, we made all these pages already. Right here's my page, podcast.html, so I'll double click that. And again, it's kind of similar here, but a little bit different. I'm going to click my podcast here. Now really all I'm going to do, and I think I'll press enter twice, I'm just going to put a little sentence in here that says click here to listen to my podcast, and then I'll put some text down here that says go home. Alright, so really nothing fancy at all on this page. I'm going to drag over all of that and go to format, align, center. I would just prefer to have that all in the middle. And so I'm going to put it all in the center. And I'll drag over the My Podcast part. I'm going to make that a heading 1, so it's bigger. Now, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to drag over this text that says click here to listen to my podcast. And I'm going to link this to my recording, my podcast that I made, but I'm going to do it a little bit differently. Down here in the Properties panel, instead of using the pick whip, what I'm going to do is click on this little folder. There's a folder right next to the pick whip, and I'll browse for file. Now what I want to do here is I just want to look around here and go find my podcast. So that should be, and again, yours should be on your network drive on drive H. But I've got mine tucked away in folders here. Here's voice and audio, and here's podcast project, and I've got a 2012 podcast right there. Perfect. That's my newest one. All right, so 2012 podcast, and I'll click OK. Now this says, you might see this when you do yours. It says this file is outside the root folder of my website. Do you want to copy the file there? Yes, I do. I would love that. So say yes. And it's going to ask you for a name here, so I could just call it, my podcast, or whatever you want to call it is okay. There it is. All right, my podcast. I'll save that. Cool. All right, so now that's all linked up. That's kind of ready to go. And I'm going to take this text right here that says go home, and I'll just use the pick whip for this. This is just going to go to index.html. All right, so we're good there. Now this is a very plain looking page. I could go modify page properties, and I could change the background color to something else if I would rather not leave it looking quite as plain as what it does right now. I could at least give it, some kind of background color or something. All right, so I'll click OK there. And again, I know that's not fancy at all, but it'll do for now. And I'm going to go ahead and save that page. Well, now guess what? According to my plan back here, I have now created my index page. I have created all of these pages here, the poster, the solar system, Magellan, event movie, the podcast. They're all made, and I've put all the stuff on here too. I've got the poster on there, the solar system, the Magellan movie, everything's on there. Whew. Wow, a lot of work, but it should be all set now. Now here's what I can do. I can go back here to the index page, and I'm using the tabs that are up here at the top. On Dreamweaver, I've got all of my pages open. Index, poster, solar, Magellan, event movie, podcast, they're all open up here. And I'm going to go back to the index page, and I want to preview that in a browser. So I'll go to File, I'll go to Preview in Browser, and again, for what we're doing, it doesn't matter that much which one you use. Internet Explorer, Firefox, if you happen to have Google Chrome, whatever, doesn't matter. I'll just use Internet Explorer. All right. And it's going to load up here, and there it is. Now, the thing, and this is kind of the final test here. Over here on the right-hand side, I made all these things. I linked them all up to the other pages. These ought to work now. They're linked. The pages are done. Let's check it out. If I click here, oh, look, Iron Man poster. Cool. And there's a link down here at the bottom that says go home. Now I could also use the back arrow on the browser, but I put a link down at the bottom that says go home. Let's check out solar system. Hey, look at there. That's working. And I can click go home. And Magellan movie. Now this time, and and I don't think you'll see this. I don't think you'll have this problem. I'm going to hit allow block content and see if that helps. Yeah, see, I don't think you'll have this problem when you do yours. It's saying it requires a newer version of Flash Player, and I don't think that's going to happen to yours. I think it's going to work fine. So mine's not working right now. I wouldn't worry about it. I'll go back home. In fact, here, let's try this. I will just hop out of Explorer, and let's preview this. And I might run into the same problem with Firefox or something. I'm going to try a different browser. All right, let's go Magellan movie. I say Magellan movie. And it's still not, it's just a Flash Player thing on my laptop where for some reason it's not working, but yours should work fine. Same thing's going to happen with the event movie here. But yours should work fine. All right, if I go to podcast, and if I just click here on where it says click here to listen to my podcast, it'll take a few minutes, but it ought to load up a little player that will, there it goes. It's playing my podcast. Yay, okay. I'm just going to hit the back button on the browser and hit go home right there. Now, again, I don't think you'll have trouble with this. If you have Flash movies, I don't think you'll have that problem. I think yours will work okay. But anyway, that does it. That brings this whole web thing to a close. We've made all these pages. We've made these 6 different pages. We put all the content on all the pages. We got them all designed the way we want. And if everything went well, they're going to be connected and they'll be working. So folks, that is it. Process completed. Project done. Congratulations.